Today we are going to discuss cultural approach to organizations theory, created by theorists Clifford Geertz and Michael Pakinowski. The platform for this theory was developed by the late Princeton anthropologist Clifford Geertz. He wrote that man is an animal suspended in webs of significance that he himself has spun. In order for an outsider to travel across the strands to the center, he or she must discover the common interpretations that hold the web together. His interpretive approaches to culture have provided useful in making sense of organizational activity. Former University of Colorado professor Michael Pakinowski was able to apply Geertz's cultural insights to organizational life. He claims that if culture consists of webs of meaning, then we need to concern ourselves not only with the structure of culture webs, but the process of their spinning as well. The process of spinning the web represents communication, which Geertz describes as shared meaning, shared understanding, and shared sense-making. The use of culture as a root metaphor was stimulated by the economic success of Japanese corporations. When American business leaders observed the superior quality and quantity produced by Japanese industries, they were surprised to find that their success had less to do with technology, but more to do with workers sharing cultural value and loyalty to one another. This observation confirmed the successful relationship between organization and Geertz's explanation of culture and relationships. This overlapping idea is encompassed in the term corporate culture. These theorists confirmed that colleagues have a system of shared meaning created by their environment, and they interact with one another abiding by their corporate culture. Geertz referred to himself as an ethnographer, one whose job is to sort out the symbolic meanings of people's action within their culture. They gather thick description, which describes the intertwined layers of common meaning that underlie what a particular people say or do. Thick description is tracing the strands of a cultural web and tracking evolving meaning. This information helps put in perspective the evolving culture of a workplace. If a stranger were to enter an environment, his or her interpretation of an action may contrast those who reside in the culture regularly. Everyone is different, but the discourse shared between familiar colleagues is understood because they share a common cultural web. This common understanding is displayed throughout an organization through the use of metaphor. Metaphor can offer a starting place for accessing the shared meaning of a corporate culture. They clarify what is unknown or confusing by relating it to an image that is more recognizable and associated to those who share a corporate culture. This use of language and discourse helps display the relationship that cultural approach shares with organization. Pakinowski suggests that fictional descriptions by their very nature can actually help fully convey a misunderstanding between individuals that share a cultural association. The symbolic interpretation of stories in a corporate culture displays a common understanding between colleagues. The stories shared throughout the workplace not only contribute to the overall culture, but they help distinguish the roles certain individuals play in an organization. Pakinowski suggests three types of narrative that dramatize organizational life. The first are corporate stories. These are tales that carry management ideology and reinforce company policy. The second are personal stories. These are told by employees, and they often define how they would like to be seen within the organization. Finally, there are collegial stories. These are positive or negative anecdotes told about others in the organization. They display how things really work. Stories are essential to developing a corporate culture. They shape the individual and overall images that progress into common understanding. These understandings develop into rituals. Rituals are texts that articulate multiple aspects of cultural life. They are the expected regularities in an organization. When they are altered or challenged, the change is met with strong resistance. These rituals are where individuals find commonality within their corporate culture, and they are also how they distinguish themselves from non-associated others. Do you find this theory useful, interesting, or maybe even untrue? Do you feel as though organizations operate as corporate cultures? Let's discuss.